All right. Welcome everybody to KnowItAllDM Entertainment. I'm KnowItAllDM. How's everybody doing today? Today we are continuing to update Star Salvage with yet another part of it that I have to get updated before we finish the next update. I've continuously realized that, yes, I may only have technically two things to do. They're very big things, however, one of which is to complete the storyline, and in order to complete the storyline, I need to complete all of the storylines, which includes setting up all of the cryo ships, these things. And so we are on Vagra, and I've turned it into a creative mode, and this is the UES Chalut. It is not currently completed. It is in the game, I think, in a basic form. I know Vagra is in the game because you use it for the rank 9 medical mission, I believe. But the UES Chalut is the final cryo ship that's going to be added. There are 9 total cryo ships, and the Chalut is the last one that's got to be added to the game. And it is crashed on the quarantine planet of Vagra, and I've got all of our storyline POIs marked. If I were to use the map command, you'd be able to see all the POIs and whatnot that are in here. But we're not going to worry about those. We don't need to worry about those. We've got the UES Chalut. We've got the quarantine base Epsilon, the abandoned quarantine base, and the mysterious structure. Now, there is eventually going to be a pink chevron or fuchsia chevron alien altar, but I have not yet created that. And that I may not add until I add the actual story starter. The reason we need the mysterious structure is because that is not only going to be part of the quarantine planet starter missions, but it is currently part of the medical rank 9 missions. So we've got that going for us. We don't have a lot of people in the chat right now, but I'm hoping we'll get a few more to stop in and say hello. I just started a little bit ago. I waited about 15 minutes. 15 minutes? Yeah, about 15 minutes. 15, 16 minutes before I actually, I started the stream and then waited a little bit. So, but yeah, so we're going to work on the UES Chalut, and the main things we're going to be doing in that, we are going to be adding the crew logs and making it a little interesting in here, because to complete the final mission for the Merryweather, the Fate of the Fleet mission, you need to find out all of figure out what happened to all of the ships, including the Chalut. And so the last 2 ships that I have to add logs for are the Merryweather itself and the Chalut. I believe I have the Bonneville, and I know I have everything else put in there. So today we are going to be doing the quarantine starter ship logs for the UAS Shalou, as well as updating the ship itself to go along with the storyline things. As you can see, there aren't any cryo chambers or anything. I've got on my hotbar down here, I've got the cryo chamber blocks, which are really only accessible through the item menu. But these are with the empty cryo chambers that act as a bed. You've got the occupied cryo chambers and then the failed cryo chambers. And I haven't placed any of them down yet because I haven't yet decided if I want, which ones I want to be failed and active. I am going to put an empty cryo chamber right here because that's going to be the one that effectively the player pops out of when you spawn on the planet once it becomes a starter planet. So you'll have one cryo chamber at least that you have access to sleep in. The rest of them in this cryo module will probably be either empty or occupied. The failed ones, I may have some failed ones later. So, unfortunately, I don't have any coffee. Well, I've got coffee. I don't have any creamer. So I am probably going to be yawning quite a bit. I'm physically tired, but mentally I am awake. I just had some caffeine, Dr. Pepper. But, yeah, I don't know how long all this is going to take. So we're going to start with the logs, and then we're going to flesh out the ship from there. Okay, let's see. This. Okay. That. Okay. So I have off camera when in my free time when I was bored at work, really, come and started working on these. I didn't finish the helmsman log, but I did get this. So what I'm going to do, oh, come on. There. So we will just copy this. And we will start with that. Oh, I also need that. All right, so all of these are gonna be, and I am going to need to set up here's all the basics that we're going to go along with this. I'm going to need this. All right. Variable S assistant is DB player string, and then set player name to S assistant. What this does, this here, at the beginning of the game, if you start on a no story starter, it will actually give you Ida as your assistant. And so anytime that you would otherwise see Sasha talking, it's Ida talking. And then other starters are going to have other assistants. Sasha is specific to the United Earth Fleet, whereas Ida was originally the United Council of Humanities assistant that a lot of people, even after the UCH was gone, a lot of people used the AI Ida to help them in whatever they needed, which is why the No Story starters will have Ida. I have plans so that halfway through, or maybe even near the beginning, somewhere between a quarter and halfway through chapter 3, you'll actually be able to come across an additional assistant, and you'll get to decide which assistant you want joining you with, like, in your suit, connected to your PDA and whatnot. And from that point forward, all the missions that Sasha or Ida would otherwise give you will also, it'll basically just set the S assistant tag so that you'll be able to choose which one to use. And really all it'll do is change the NPC name that's talking, but there's reasonings behind. It's just a little customization thing, really. The text within the dialogue won't change, but the assistant name will. Ooh, excuse me. Ugh. Okay, so I'm gonna need to do this for everyone. Go down through here, setting the execute to set the name, and then I'm gonna have to go through each one. Now this one is gonna be Sasha only because it is only gonna activate with a story mission that you can find if you start on any of the 4 starter planets that are not the quarantine starter. So, variable. So let's continue all these. And open, and then as assistant variable. And then DB player string. Now what this does with so you can set int, bool, float, string, and you can set those as just the basics, but that will only initiate it and save it for that existing dialogue. And once you're out of that dialogue, it'll basically wipe it from the memory. DB means database, and it attaches it to either the state, which I think is the playfield, but I'm not sure. The player is the player, and the global is the game itself. So if you set, for example, DB player int, then no matter when that is recalled, it'll be the same. DB global int would be regardless of which player calls it, it'll be the same. So if I had a dialogue that changed it to one thing and then you activated another dialogue that referenced it, it would have changed for you as well. So database, player string, because these are all going to be the player strings, and player ints are what I use the most, because a lot of them are dealing with the PDAs and whatnot, stuff on a player level. I may later on set up some statuses that are affected globally. Make sure all of them have in there. Okay, they do. All right. Now I can do this. 2. Oh, I need to do Chalut. Three. Engineer log entry 1. It wouldn't be chief, it would be the engineer because there's only one engineer. Entry 2. 3. The doctor. Medical log. 2. 3. Helmsman. 2. And 3. Alright, so for the arrival log, I haven't come up with names for these characters. Arrival log 1. This is just looking at the last names. They're all kind of okay. For now, I'll just leave them listed as Captain Name, whatnot. Engineer log 1. All right, with that amount of dialogue, I should have to do a page change. Actually, it probably want to be this one, where I do the page change. Okay. The doctor. Medical log 1. Okay. This is also going to want a I can usually tell by just about how long they are. Rival log. This is pushing it. I don't know why that is doing that, because on here they're not combined. See, they're not. Weird. In any case, this I will go ahead and P9. And what that does is makes it so that it goes to a different page, and the 9 means it comes up with a little arrow that you can click to move it to the next page rather than it automatically doing it. Engineer log 1. Are those on like... No? Thought maybe it was like when it went down to the next thing, but it doesn't, because like it was those were... I don't know. It's weird. It does that a lot when copying and pasting things. And let's double check the medical log. Obviously, it's going to have... Well... Yeah. Okay. And helmsman's log. This one doesn't have a whole lot that I finished, so... Oh, yes. There it is. In one. At least we're alive. Let's see. Alright, so now we've got the first logs of each of them finished minus character name. One thing I am going to need to do, I'm going to need to do option. Once I get all these done, I can actually add these to add them to the ship so that you can I can actually get them into the game. Even if the text isn't complete, at least you'll be able to complete the missions that require them, which are this one and the Shalou mission here. Unfortunately, I don't, at the moment, I'm not going to have them in the journey book, but they will appear right here after the Rosignol and before the rest of them. I need a third helmsman log, do I not? No, the engineer note takes the place of the helmsman. That's what happened with the Rosignol. Whereas, like with Speedwell, it's all in groups of 3s. And these 2 separate missions are because if you start on the proper planet, it is supposed to go ahead and activate next chapter or something. Helmsman 3 activates the next story mission for it, the escape thing. So that's why there's 2 separate ones that within the game will look the same. So except for you'll see that it rewards and activates the next chapter. But anyway, I'm not going to have these at the moment. I will add the journey book things. I'll probably add them once I get all of these completed and filled out, but for now I'm just gonna have these as they are. Now, the Shalou. Oh, yes. The Shalou. Let's see. So for the Shalou, we will have it, and I want to have it so that it sort of guides the player throughout the ship. So I want them to start here. Okay, so stopping time, make it about noon-ish. Okay. So I could either... Alright, let's take a look at the ship from above. I want them to... They're going to eventually end up in engineering, coming out of engineering. But before that, I want them to traverse the entirety of the ship. Now, I can do that in a couple of ways. I think the biggest way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to have these doors locked with a code. So that you can't leave until you get the code. Because in here there are going to be the total horrors. You see you got a 25 spawn there and a 25 spawn there. So this... the engineering section is going to be overrun with total horrors. And so I'm going to want this door is going to be locked not with this. NPCs cannot open this door. But it's going to be locked with let's see. Give me 1 second and I'll get a random number generator. All right. And by a random number generator, I mean a 10-sided die. I always have dice lying around. Actually, they're not lying around. They're in a box. But. Okay. First number. Second number. Third number. And fourth number. That is our code. 6947. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to, if they're starting here, all right. All right. So we're starting here. It's not the size of it. Much better. All right, starting here. Figuring out the path that I want them to take. Let's see. So this is where the, I guess this will have to be the final this will be the end. Oh, I need it to be. All right, this will be the end. Because this will be this will be where the PDA or the whatchamacallit, the crew log that gives you that code is going to be. So I'm going to have to find a way. I can either just lock that. I think what I'm going to want to do, I'm going to want to lock that. And then put a code on that one so that it blocks off the back, but you're going to end up coming like that. And then I can ignore this one if I want and have the player just come straight like that. And of course they're going to want to come into the cockpit as well. This will be an area. I may fill this area with nightmares, total horrors, abominations, whatever you want to call them. And put codes on all these doors. Or I may just lock it so that you just hear them in there. And you'll be able to see them when you try to go through these areas. Because you can see through the things. So if I just put all the total horrors in there, it'll be a visual thing so that you can see. So like when you come this way, you'll be able to look in there and see them, but these doors will be locked and there'll be actually no way to get into this cryo chamber here. I think that may be what I do. So if I just remove this code and remove that code, I'll remove this code and remove this code. And then finally, all right, that way this whole section is blocked off, but I will put this over, and I'll just do a 25 in here. Legacy. So you'll be able to see them when you're out here. You'll be able to look in there because more than likely they'll be up in these areas. And if you really wanted, you could bust through these from the outside and get in, because even though it's going to be an admin core, the damaged windows will allow you to destroy them and get in. So that's one possibility of just getting in there and getting some additional XP. That being said, I'm going to want these all to be locked just for story purposes, to disallow you from just leaving. Yeah, so you won't just be able to leave. You might, I don't know if you'll be able to get a weapon. If you can get a weapon that will be able to destroy the glass, you can just pop out. But I don't think I want, I'm probably going to make it so that the best you can hope for is a junk rifle, which I don't think can even damage the glass. We can find out. Junk rifle. Junk rifle. Okay, junk rifle can damage the glass. 226. 224. So you could do it, but you might run out of ammo before you get those done anyway. So you're not really going to want to do that, but you might. I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility. All right, so if you're going to start here and go straight across, that means that this is going to have to be locked, and that's going to have to be locked. And then that's going to have to be locked as well. So what I'm going to need to do is make sure that the console ship log in the starting module explains that they locked a bunch of the doors on the ship in order to prevent the abominations from getting through. So that means I'm going to want this to be probably one of the engineer logs. Engineer, I might want to do engineer 3 for this here. So let's see. That means engineer 3 is going to be an important one that needs to have relevant details that also seem to work along with the thing. So, the locked. In order to delay their I'm afraid only a matter of time before they break through. Who would have thought that I need to there. Okay. So that explains that many of the doors are locked and that the ship's been overrun by abomination. So over here, I am also going to put horror. These I'm going to put 15 here. Now, I'm going to lock this one. So that when you're over here, you'll be able to hear them through the door, but you won't be able to get to them until you come all the way around. I've got it so NPCs can open doors, certain doors. Have to be locked. And then this one is going to have another code. Three, and you access door, and then you are going to go along with access door, so when that opens and closes, they both open and close regardless. Okay. That being said, if you go through here, that way it'll stay open, which it's not going to do now because it's the way that the creative mode works, but you put the code in, you open it, both doors will open, then they'll both stay open. Actually, 4713. Let me put that in here as well. So in case you decide to close the door, you can open it back. Oh, okay. Now, so that's here, which means that the door here is going to need to be locked. Then you can come freely through these into here. This one, did I already lock this one? No, I need so you'll have to come through here. Now, what I'm going to want to do is on this side, these doors, instead of being right, those, that's going to need a code. Okay. So the ones that initially spawn in here will start wandering out into these areas probably. And then you'll have to make your way in through there. And like I said before, hey Valkyrie Shepherd, welcome to the stream. The engineering section is going to have 50 total horrors spawn initially, but there's a chance that they will wander out into the outer area here, so I'm not terribly worried about that. But I am going to want to put some other way. So you're going to have access to 2 separate cargo holds. The first door you go through here will be cargo. So this and this are cargo rather than cryo. Grizz1231, welcome to the stream. Let's see. So I'm going to give you something to work with in here. I am going to want if I could find a way right now the only place they'll have to fight the horrors are in here. They'll see them wandering in here, but there'll be no way for them to get into there to fight them. Horrors. If they're just going to be in here and there and it'll be a tough fight out, that'll be similar to fighting the Xerax on the Speedwell. On the Speedwell, you basically had to come through here, fight through all these, but pretty much all of this was open with a couple of, like, that was detached and that's detached. So you had to just basically fight through these chambers to get into there. With this, you'll start here, have to make your way all the way around, put the code in here, and then fight them through here. Get down here to get the code in there. You'll fight a few of them in these. The question is, in theory, how did they get into these? If they locked this door. Maybe I don't know. Oh, I know what I can do. Alright, so those are locked. I'm going to make it where you don't have to go out through engineering. This here. Okay. What I want here see. If I do something like this. No, that. All right. And then that way, in theory, Total Horrors could pop up through here. I jumped way better than they did. Well, let's just do a quick little test. Okay. Horror 1, Legacy. You, for now, I'm going to turn off. Okay. And there they go. Oh, I thought it turned you off. Oh. Okay. So with this here, it makes it perfectly easy for them to get up and get into here. And since this is going to be the endpoint anyway, if you fight your way through these, let me make this 5 that are already in. There's going to be 15 wandering around out there. So this way, you get over here, you can get the code to that if you want, but the door's busted open, so you can go ahead and get out this way. And then if you want to fight your way back in, you can fight your way back in this way and get what's gonna be the whatever the final, excuse me, hungry? Okay. That being said, now I go ahead, at the very least, oof. Yeah, it's thundering something fierce here. I may have to call it a stream and turn off my computer for a bit. Because that shook the apartment. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna call it a stream. We'll come back maybe tomorrow night. No, tomorrow I've got a job. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday I work night shift. So it might be Friday when we come back that we'll come back and finish up the UES Chalut, getting it intact. That being said, I am going to go ahead. This is our starting location. Let me put it over here. You are going to be bar _ engineer log 3. So that I know, keep it engineer log 3. This way, that's the starting thing. So I'm gonna call that a stream. I mean, it hasn't been a whole lot. I've only really been streaming for about an hour. I had 15 minutes of just dead space beforehand, not the video game, but like just the intro screen while I got stuff set up, and then just a little bit of stuff, but it was a lot of content stuff, so that's good. But in any case, we're gonna come back probably on Friday, or if the storm goes away. It is 1:30 here, so I might just go to bed. But in any case, we're gonna come back later sometime, I don't know when, and we're going to continue working on the Chalut. I might do a lot of the work off camera between now and then when I have free time. And when we come back, whenever my next stream is, I will show the progress of what I've done with the UES Chalut. But that's going to be it for this stream. I hope everybody who watched it enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me. If you did and you're on YouTube, hit like buttons, subscribe, all that stuff. Twitch, hit whatever follow buttons and all that. As always, I'm KnowItAllDM, and y'all have a good day now.